Hello and welcome to another special bonus episode of Damn Interesting Week. This bonus episode is about everybody's favorite addiction, social media. But don't worry, some of the stories are uplifting, and some of them are very schadenfreudy, which is almost as good. We do hope to be back on the air next week, and in the meantime, we hope you enjoy this collection of some of our favorite articles from the archive. My name is Jennifer Lee Noonan.
I'm Angela Epley.
I'm Spurr-Chen.
I'm Bradley Calhoun.
And these were some damn interesting weeks.
First Link.
Well, speaking of theft, this article comes to us from BusinessInsider.com. It's titled Grand Theft TikTok.
Ooh, wait.
Yeah, so Bria Jenkins was enjoying an evening at home last November, watching television with her kids and waiting for a Domino's delivery. But when she opened the door to grab the pizza from the delivery driver, she got a serious shock. There was broken glass strewn on the ground, and her 2013 Kia Optima was gone, stolen from right in front of her house.
Oh, no.
Yeah, she said, I started freaking out. I was like, am I dreaming? Patty LeBeau-Chorn experienced a similar nightmare one morning last August. She had parked her 2015 Kia Sorento while volunteering at her temple in Los Angeles. But when she went to drive home, she couldn't find it anywhere. LeBeau-Chorn and Jenkins are just two victims of an unprecedented surge in car thefts that has swept across U.S. cities in the past 2 years. In Milwaukee, car thefts have doubled since 2020.
Wow.
In St.
Yeesh.
Louis, they spiked 157% from the second half of 2021 to the second half of 2022.
Dang.
Other major metros across the country, New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles, have seen similar increases. The cause of this wild car theft spree? A viral TikTok.
Yep.
Ugh.
The Kia Challenge video, which first appeared in 2021 and regained popularity in July 2022, showed how to easily hijack certain models using only a USB cord.
Only
Yeah.
a USB. Oh, well, okay. That feels
Yeah.
a little bit like shame on you, Kia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So while the video was quickly taken down by TikTok each time it resurfaced, the damage was done. 70% of the cars stolen in Milwaukee last year and 50% of the cars stolen in Chicago this year were from the two South Korean manufacturers. The situation has become so critical that two major auto insurance companies, State Farm and Progressive, have stopped insuring vulnerable Kia and Hyundai models.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a big deal when the insurance companies are like, nope.
Mhm.
Dozens of class action lawsuits filed around the country are attempting to force the manufacturers to either issue a recall or fix the car's vulnerability. The trend has become not just a financial burden for consumers and a legal nightmare for Kia and Hyundai, but has spotlighted what happens when a business cuts corners. It's often the people least responsible who bear the burden. So, the TikTok video that sparked the challenge, a how-to reportedly created by user Robbie Ray with 3 Ys, exposed a security flaw in Kia models from 2011 to 2021 and Hyundai models from 2015 to 2021. The cars from that time don't have electric immobilizers, a safety device that uses a unique chip in the key fob. Cars with this tech won't start unless they recognize the correct key, making them far more difficult to hotwire. Without that system, anyone could unscrew the steering column in the older Kias and Hyundais and insert a USB into the ignition before driving away. While there's no federal database of thefts by specific model, the numbers in large cities are staggering. In Seattle, thefts of Kias and Hyundais increased by 363% and 503% respectively between 2021 and 2022.
That's insanity.
Yeah. In Chicago, 1,000 Kias were stolen in October alone.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And in Portland, Oregon, the number of stolen Kias increased by 916% and Hyundai thefts jumped by 768%.
Yeah, the secret's out, man. I mean, that's the thing. If you're a car thief and you know you're going to steal something and you've just gotten the answer to this one is extra easy, of course you're going to focus on those models.
Well, I think, too, what's also increased it is people who weren't going to steal, just teenagers who are just being teenagers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, gotta go viral for that TikTok challenge.
That's right.
So.
That's right.
Exactly.
In response to the crime wave, Kia added immobilizers to their 2022 models, and Hyundai added them to cars built since November 2021. So far, there's been no recall on the already compromised models, though Kia and Hyundai both noted in statements to Insider that they're providing steering wheel locks to affected car owners through some police departments.
Wait. We've gone back in time?
Yeah, the club, man. Like the big red thing.
But many people have questioned why the companies didn't have such a standard feature in their cars in the first place. In 2015, 96% of vehicles from other manufacturers had immobilizers, but only 26% of Kia and Hyundai cars did.
Ugh.
While the US does not mandate the tech, electronic immobilizers have been common since the late 1990s when the European Union mandated them for all new cars sold there.
Oh.
Neither Kia or Hyundai have explained why their vehicles didn't have this safety feature.
They said, we don't care about Europe. We're not selling there, so...
Yeah, I guess. Ann Davison, the Seattle city attorney, acknowledged TikTok's role in the theft spree, but placed the underlying blame on the car companies themselves.
Yeah.
What really has happened is that Kia and Hyundai chose to cut corners in cost in their least expensive models in a period of years. Davison is one of the lawyers who has filed a class action suit against the manufacturers. One lawyer estimated several dozen such lawsuits existed across the country. Jonathan Michaels, a lawyer at the MLG Attorneys at Law in California who is representing Labouche-Schorn, said his firm has been watching the situation unfold since the Kia challenge took off in the middle of last year. He said, "We thought that Kia or Hyundai might take some type of corrective action to prevent the harm. We were surprised when they didn't."
And thrilled, because we're attorneys.
Yeah,
Yes.
sure.
So it's not just insurance that's becoming a problem. Andrea Amico, the founder and CEO of Privacy for Cars, a company that addresses automotive data privacy issues, says other companies are taking steps to avoid risk. There are garages that are refusing to have these vehicles in their garage because they're concerned about the liability if the car is stolen. And if you cannot insure your car and cannot park, this has an immediate impact on what the asset is worth.
Yep.
As in, about zero.
Yeah.
And just to pause, as far as I can tell, you don't even need a phone or anything like that attached to plug in. It's literally just the USB cord, which itself is nonsense.
Yeah,
Anyway.
yeah. I mean, I think we can agree the problem is not TikTok or car manufacturers. It's teenagers. We need to just lock up everyone from age 12 to 18 and never, let their brains fully develop.
Yeah, I mean, the only people that can stop bad people with USB cords is good people with USB cords. Next link.
Next link.
All right. Well, we often have robots are getting smarter type articles on this podcast. So for balance, we now have one about how humans are getting dumber.
No, we already
Yes.
know this.
It's from Gizmodo, and it's called "An Influencer Pilot is Under Investigation After Being Accused of Crashing His Plane on Purpose."
Oh my
Whoa.
God.
So the man is named Trevor Jacob, and he's a former Olympic snowboarder and now professional YouTuber. Most of his videos are in the extreme sports category, involving a lot of skateboarding and skydiving and jumping over moving trains on a motorcycle. He also has a handful of videos with titles like "Skateboarding Across America, We Got Arrested," and "I Went to Prison for Train Hopping," which may turn out to be useful experiences for him as the Federal Aviation Administration is now investigating his latest video in which he, perhaps deliberately, perhaps not, but definitely deliberately, crashes a Taylor-Craft BL-64 plane into the foothills of the Los Padres National Forest, with the whole crash caught on camera as he parachutes away from it.
Wow, what a psychopath.
Now, his claim, which you can see played out over the 17-minute video, is that he was flying over the mountains to sprinkle his dead friend's ashes over the great outdoors as the friend would have wanted, when the engine unexpectedly stalled and he was forced to abandon the craft midair and then hike his way out of the mountains until an anonymous man with a truck happens to come by and gives him a ride back to town. But aviation professionals and amateurs alike have pointed out a number of problems with his story. For one thing, even with a stalled engine, they say the plane could have continued flying level for another 15 to 20 miles, meaning he could have gotten himself much closer to safety and potentially even made a rough but safe landing in several clear spots that you can see on the video. And even if you think, well, he panicked and just felt like he had to get out immediately, his detractors have noted that as Jacob is climbing out of the cockpit, he seems to deliberately nose the plane downward so that it would crash within sight and not 15 to 20 miles away from his camera. He also made no effort to restart the engine, which it probably would have done if he'd tried, and instead slowed down the plane's speed, which he had no logical reason to do, and which made the front propeller stop turning, thus ensuring a faster crash. There's also the question of why he was flying with a full skydiving parachute already on his back in the first place. Some pilots might fly with what's called a bailout rig on their back, but it's much thinner and smaller than the high-tech rig that Jacob is wearing. And you can indeed see in the early part of the video how much trouble he's having fitting into the pilot's chair with this huge thing on his back. Jacob, for his part, responded that he's very safety conscious and always flies with a full parachute, but viewers immediately pointed out that he's not wearing one in his other flying videos. He also seems to have the cabin door already cracked open before the engine fails. And apparently, after the crash, he first hiked to the crash site instead of going for help, supposedly to gather his camera footage, but also perhaps to fix any sabotaged controls that might prove he deliberately stalled the engine himself.
Gosh.
Yes. Speaking of sabotage evidence, there's clear footage from the interior of the cockpit before the stall because he had a camera up installed in there. But he includes no interior footage in his video after the stall, perhaps because it would be obvious from the position of the controls if he had flooded the fuel mixture or done something else intentional. What's more, some sources have reported that after getting to safety, Jacob flew back out to the site with his own crew in a helicopter to clean up the crash himself, which you might think is just the environmentally friendly thing to do, but it's actually against regulations.
Yeah,
because when a crash happens, they want to formally inspect the site to see if they can figure out what went wrong.
That's just tampering with evidence is what that is.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So whether he was hiding anything or not, he very much broke the rules. And as if all that weren't enough, the area of the forest that Jacob crashed into is a designated reserve for endangered condors. So if nothing else, he probably broke some laws just by going in and out of it so many times. Anyway, like I said, the FAA is involved now, and it's not looking good for Jacob. Best case scenario, I think he loses his pilot's license. Worst case, he could easily end up going to jail for insurance fraud, public endangerment, who knows what else. So, don't be a YouTuber, kids. It never leads anywhere good. That's really the only lesson we can pull from this.
Yeah.
Next link?
Next link.
This article comes to us from cnet.com. It's titled, Amazon's Never-Ending Fake Reviews Problem Explained.
I guess it's more than just people lying.
Yep. Yeah. So not everything is as it seems on Amazon's marketplace, where products are rated in a 5-star system, and a heavy number of positive reviews can help one brand stand out from a pack of competitors. This is not a new phenomenon. Some Amazon shoppers accept refunds and gift cards in exchange for positive reviews, despite the company's ban on the activity. Before Amazon banned the practice in 2016, reviewers would often admit they got a product for free in exchange for a review, but the practice is now fully in the shadows. Amazon also says it puts resources into removing fake reviews and the accounts that post them, adding that blocked 200 million suspected fake reviews before they were posted in 2020.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes me lose hope.
And they're concentrated on the most popular ones, of course.
Sure.
So, a company spokesperson said 99% of Amazon's actions on incentivized reviews take place proactively before problems are reported to the company. But Amazon also struggles to identify fake reviews that come from real customers who've bought and used a product. Their behavior looks legitimate, and the same customer might write some reviews that are paid and others that aren't. Another major challenge to Amazon is that the fake reviews are often coordinated on social media sites the company doesn't control. In May, a UK regulator said it would continue scrutinizing these groups on Facebook and Instagram, and note that 16,000 social media groups that coordinated refunds for fake Amazon reviews had been removed. Amazon itself also monitors social networks for groups coordinating the reviews, and last year reported 6,000 of the groups to social media companies. But the problem has a circular nature. The faster a product can build up good reviews, the more visibility it can get as a bestseller on Amazon, and the faster it can earn the trust of shoppers who've never bought from that company before. As that company gets more customers, it also has more people it can solicit paid reviews from, speeding up its rating success even further. After buying a product based on positive reviews, an honest shopper might get recruited for a fake review scheme in a couple of different ways. In the first scenario, the product arrives in the Amazon Smile box and the customer notices a card with a QR code or a website printed on it. This is so common, no shopper would blink, and the link might lead to a regular customer support website that's above board. However, it might also lead the shopper to a group on Facebook or another social media site where the brand offers up more products for review in exchange for a refund. The second scenario is more direct. The card in the package might directly offer a gift card or PayPal credit in exchange for a positive review. And then on a Facebook group that's coordinating these positive reviews, shoppers will see posts from the page administrators announcing new products that need reviews on Amazon or another online marketplace. And the shopper might also invite their friends to the group, recruiting even more people to write reviews in exchange for products. Sometimes multiple brands use the same group to trawl for reviewers. Once shoppers are in this world, they might even receive private messages or friend requests from unrelated companies looking for more people to review their products. So it's like an entire just cottage industry of, scam reviews.
Yeah, it's really fascinating that they're recruiting regular people and drawing them into this world rather than just saying we've got a troll farm with 1 million email addresses. They're getting real people and getting them to do their dirty work.
Yeah, and because, it's really hard to ban real people who are both doing valid things and are real customers, all of that. So in either scenario, the shopper writes a positive review and then sends proof to a representative of the company. That could be in an email or private message on Facebook, and they may share their PayPal details or accept a gift card in return for their efforts. Facebook group administrators try to make themselves available to shoppers as much as they can, sometimes adding group members as friends on the platform and keeping them apprised of when they'll be available to answer questions or process refunds.
Ugh.
Yeah. See, I have I'm of two minds about it. Like, on the one hand, when you leave a review on Amazon, you have to, include your real name and everything. They attach it to your real account. On the other hand, there have been times where there were products I genuinely liked and was like, I feel good enough about this, I might leave a positive review. But then I'm like, I don't want my shopping history attached and viewable to my name. I don't want to be the person who's up there going, this toilet paper is amazing, you guys. It feels weird. I have distinctly not left reviews for products before because I don't like it being attached to me. But I also recognize if it's anonymous, then the fake review problem's even worse. So I don't know. There's not a good answer.
If I have a product where I'm like, look, I have a really specific context and I have tried to find something that works. If that sounds like you, maybe this review will help. Which I'd like to think is the most authentic human perspective and method that the bots at least won't catch up with for a little while longer. But Eco88, I'll swear by this forever. It's like a stain remover if you have a pet. And I wrote this diary entry where I was like, you guys. Not sponsored, just passionate.
Next link?
Next link.
So we've been talking about life. Let's talk about death a little bit. This article comes to us from Atlas Obscura, and it's titled How a Grave Cleaner Uncovers the Past.
Oh, is this that woman on TikTok?
Yes, it is.
Awesome.
Wait, what?
Apparently she's very popular. So the cross-topped gravestone was dark brown, its engravings illegible, lost beneath a thick layer of grime. Alicia Williams began, as she does with every restoration, by gently scraping away debris with a plastic putty knife. She then rinsed the surface with a biodegradable solution and scrubbed it with a soft brush. After another rinse and some drying time came the big reveal, a pristine white tombstone bearing a clear inscription. And it said, Josephine, daughter of O.G. and G.P. Bell, July 19th, 1899 to November 10th, 1903, with the title, A Little Child Shall Lead Them. But the real magic of Williams' grave cleaning, which she shares with her 2.4 million followers on TikTok, is that she doesn't just reveal the headstone hiding beneath years of wear and tear, she also reveals the person. Josephine died at the age of 4 when her dress caught fire in her nursery. Yeah. In another video, Williams cleans the grave of Kerry Davis, 1893 to 1948, and explains that he was a member of the U.S. Army's 505th Engineers Service Battalion, an all-black unit that played a crucial role in constructing railroads, highways, and drainage systems during World War I. So Williams, who largely focuses on graves in her local cemetery in Bedford, Virginia, posts her videos as Lady Taphos, that's Taphos, because a taphophile is a cemetery enthusiast. Some viewers come for the soothing scraping and brushing sounds, others are drawn to the dramatic makeovers or the tributes and history lessons. And the videos can garner as many as 6 million likes, especially impressive for graves that in many cases have been ignored for decades. And, I watched the video of Josephine, and it's really kind of calm and soothing. At the same time, it's a little bit morbid and sad, right? But also fascinating because you have a view into history, and she pretty much just does a step-by-step footage of her scraping and going through these multiple layers while little facts and snippets from history pop up on the TikTok video. It's a really, really lovely and thoughtful experience.
Yeah. For me, it's like an OCD thing because there's the rinsing stage where she's rinsing in these straight lines downward and it's coming clean and it's all white underneath. And it's very soothing to watch something get meticulously cleaned like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so for Williams, the work is deeply therapeutic. She started cleaning graves as a calming activity when she was navigating a painful divorce. She says, after I cleaned several graves, I started to learn that it was a work in progress. It took 100 years or more for them to get into that condition, and it was going to take some time for them to look better. And it sort of became this metaphor for my own healing. So Atlas Obscura asks, what draws you to the graves that you choose to clean? And Williams says, the ones that draw me the most are the ones that are by themselves, when clearly there's no one around them. I always find myself thinking that these people probably have an interesting story to tell, and a lot of the times they do. I cleaned 2 that were by themselves but near each other, and it turns out those 2 had both been killed by trains. A lot of times, that burial in the cemetery might be the only record that a person ever existed at all. There might not have been a birth or death record for some reason, but sometimes you can figure out who they are by the surrounding graves. You never know what you're going to come across. There's a tremendous amount of minority history that's been swept under the rug for generations, and their stories deserve to be told. And then Atlas Obscura asks, do you have a favorite story you uncovered or a person you learned about while cleaning their grave? Williams says, my favorite grave is the one I feel most protective of. It's Lucy. She was formerly enslaved, and she's buried at the feet of her enslavers. She's believed to be the only African American buried in the cemetery, which is significant because it was a segregated cemetery for the town. So the fact that her former enslavers were like, we're going to bury a servant with us because she stayed with the family after emancipation, I just think that's so fascinating, and I've never seen that in my town. It says on her stone that she had a son. I still wish every day that somewhere out there she's got a descendant, but I have not had any luck finding one. And then Atlas Obscura, do you have any advice for someone who'd like to start cleaning gravestones? She says, patience and permission. If you want to clean a grave, just buy the right products and then get permission from the cemetery. You also have to be patient and understand that it might take a little bit of time. You might be disappointed right after you clean it. It's important to wait and let the cleaner do its work. The average turnaround time for your cleaning to take effect, I would say, is probably 2 to 3 months. I've had some take as long as 6 months. And then the last question, what do you hope viewers take away from your videos? Williams answers, my one wish is that I inspire more people to do it and to share the stories they find. I'm just one person and I can only do so much, especially in my one little town. So I want to know when someone else does this, and I want to know about what they've uncovered. There's so much in the news about tearing down of things and the removal of things. Why not try to restore something and tell these stories?
Yeah, this woman's awesome. And
Yeah,
I think
rocks.
it speaks to something I think that she has become so wildly popular on TikTok. Part of it's the ASMR aspect of the scraping, part of it's the OCD of the cleaning, part of it's the history. But I think, I don't know, I hope that we're all ready for something that's a little nicer than what we've been going through for so long now. It's very heartwarming. I like it.
Yeah, and I really feel like it's also especially valuable in the U.S. as such a youth-oriented culture to have more examples of, honoring the past and honoring history. I think that's really, really noble. So yeah, TikTok.
Yeah, you should go check it out, Angie. It's awesome.
All right. I keep resisting TikTok because I guess my age is showing, but
Just don't stare at it for too long. Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Next link.
Next link. Okay, I'm feeling a little defensive about my lack of TikTok engagement, but in my defense, Yale News has put together a study that definitively puts data behind this assertion that likes and shares amplify expressions of moral outrage over time because users learn such language gets rewarded with an increased number of likes and shares. And these rewards have the greatest influence on users connected, get this, with politically moderate networks.
Oh.
Yeah, Yale's William Brady, a postdoctoral researcher in the Yale Department of Psychology and the first author of the study, noted social media's incentives are changing the tone of our political conversations online. And if you have been online on social media in the last 5 or 10 years, this is going to be a real no-duh moment for you. But the important thing here is that we've got data. So the Yale team measured the expression of moral outrage on Twitter during real-life controversial events, and they studied the behavior of subjects in controlled experiments designed to test whether social media's algorithms, which reward users for posting popular content, encourage outrage expressions. They had to compile the evidence by assembling a team which built machine learning software capable of tracking moral outrage in Twitter posts. And in observational studies of over 12 million tweets from over 7,000 Twitter users, they used the software to test whether users expressed more outrage over time, and if so, why? They found that the incentives of social media platforms really do change how people post. So if you get more likes and retweets when you express outrage in a tweet, you're more likely to express outrage in later posts. And to back up these findings, the researchers did do controlled behavioral experiments to demonstrate that being rewarded for expressing outrages causes users to increase these outraged expressions. Again, a lot of this is no duh, but it's really important to have the science in here if you're the kind of person who is moved by scientific data.
Sure.
The study was very careful not to say whether amplifying moral outrage is good or bad for society. They'll leave that up to us. They made sure to really stress that this isn't what their findings. But, I'm going to try to get into TikTok. I can't leave it, on the burner forever. I'm probably not going to be doing financial advice on it because I have had people send me TikToks and they're like, is this correct? I'm like, if this person were a real financial advisor, they would not be using TikTok in this way. The regulators would come after them. But, different conversation. But I'll give it a go. Cleaning gravestones is probably as soothing as it needs to be for an elder goth like myself.
Well, I was going to say, you can probably find those videos repeated elsewhere, but they're going to be repeated on places like YouTube, which are just as bad as far as amplifying awful things.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder to what degree, if you removed the like function, does that help? I don't know. I'm not sure if it would help. Not that they ever would, but...
I mean, it's also that when you hit the button, the outrage button, people respond to that emotionally and they like it, and it primes the pump for the algorithm, which causes your post to go further. You get more likes, you get more views, you get more dopamine. And if you have something to sell, you realize, that's the way to do it. So that's what I'm always going to do.
Well, and I think one of the really fascinating examples is, I don't know if you guys know anything about the Steakum Twitter account.
No.
So Steakum is just a cheap brand of pureed meat in frozen sheets, whatever. They decided a while back, apparently, that their social media manager was just going to be super anti-advertising, and he's got just this sort of moderatizing message. A lot of what he says is yes, you have to be able to discern facts and you have to be able to expand your mind and be open-minded, whatever. And everyone's constantly I had no idea that the most influential political voice in my life would be a meat brand, and it's become a really, really big thing. But the thing that people don't even remember is that the reason the Steakum account initially sort of went viral, because they've been doing this for years, the reason they initially went viral is because the person running the account started a fight with Neil deGrasse Tyson.
What?
And at the time, what the account was doing was basically saying, you're being an extremist, stop it, you're contributing to the problem. And so, it then drew back into this whole moderatized message that it has. But fundamentally, the thing that got attention was still the fact that the account reached out and put down a verbal smackdown on Neil deGrasse Tyson. And so
it was good too. I saw it.
Yeah. And so even the moderate messages that are trying to get through, the only way they get through is by doing something outrageous in the first place. So it's, it doesn't give you a lot of hope, frankly.
No.
It's kind of depressing.
So, take a page out of Way's book, curate the heck out of your social media garden. You really want to make sure to evict the weeds that are threatening to take over and make your lawn ugly. Good Lord.
Or just watch some grave cleaning videos and then get off. That's
it. There you go. Next link. Next link.
This article comes to us from theconversation.com, and it's titled, Facebook has known for a year and a half that Instagram is bad for teens despite claiming otherwise. Here are the harms researchers have been documenting for years.
Yeah. I mean, on the one hand, it doesn't surprise me. Facebook is evil. On the other hand, didn't we all know that? I mean,
but it's the data.
Right. They had the data and we didn't.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. So Facebook officials had internal research in March 2020 showing that Instagram, the social media platform most used by adolescents, is harmful to teen girls' body image and well-being, but swept those findings under the rug to continue conducting business as usual, according to a report that came out last week in the Wall Street Journal. Facebook's policy of pursuing profits regardless of documented harm has sparked comparisons to Big Tobacco, which knew in the 1950s that its products were carcinogenic, but publicly denied it into the 21st century. A Pew Research Center poll shows that 89% of teens report that they're online almost constantly or several times a day. And teens are more likely to log on to Instagram than any other social media site. Yet, studies consistently show that the more often teens use Instagram, the worse their overall well-being, self-esteem, life satisfaction, mood, and body image.
Oof.
One study found that the more college students used Instagram on any given day, the worse their mood and life satisfaction was that day. Also, like every other sentence in this article has a link to a study, so if you're interested, go look it up. But Instagram isn't problematic simply because it's popular. There are two key features of it that seem to make it particularly risky. While all social media allows users to be selective, Instagram is notorious for its photo editing and filtering capabilities. Plus, that is the popular platform among celebrities, models, and influencers. Facebook has been relegated to the uncool soccer moms and grandparents. So for teens, this seamless integration of celebrities and retouched versions of real-life peers presents a ripe environment for upward social comparison or comparing yourself to someone who is, in scare quotes, better in some respects. Recently, researchers even tried to combat this effect by reminding Instagram users that the posts were unrealistic. And that did not work.
No.
Negative comparisons, which were nearly impossible to stop, still led to envy and lowered self-esteem. Even in studies in which participants knew the photos were shown on Instagram were retouched and reshaped, adolescent girls still felt worse about their bodies after viewing them. Instagram is also risky for teens because its emphasis on pictures of the body leads users to focus on how their bodies look to others. Research shows that for teen girls and increasingly teen boys, thinking about their own bodies as the object of a photo increases worrying thoughts about how they look to others, and that leads to feeling shame about their bodies. Just taking a selfie to be posted later makes them feel worse about how they look to others. These are not insignificant health concerns because body dissatisfaction during the teen years is a powerful and consistent predictor of late eating disorder symptoms. The big question will be how Facebook handles these damaging results. History and the courts have been less forgiving of the head-in-the-sand approach of big tobacco.
I mean, yeah, but it was a long time before that shifted.
It was a real long time.
And if you have a lot of money with lawyers, you can just keep this tied up indefinitely in the courts while you continue to rake in that sweet, sweet ad revenue.
Well, and not only that, but tobacco really only turned around after people had stopped smoking anyway. So yeah, I mean, people will eventually stop using social media, if only to move on to the next new thing.
Yeah.
At which point, we can all go back in retrospect and be like, oh, Facebook was evil. But they're going to collect every dollar they can up until the moment that they're not getting money anymore anyway. So what do they care?
And also, like, so much of the time, these people aren't your peers, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
This is not your tribe. Nothing about the way their life will ever matter to your life. And if you're a 13-year-old listening to this podcast, very smart of you.
Yeah, good for
you. Yeah, good for you. But also, none of your classmates that you are envious of will ever matter.
No.
Trust me.
You will not even remember their names.
Yeah.
Like, it's absolutely
Yeah, one day you'll find out that one of them died and you'll be like, huh. Sorry. Up to if you want to include that.
No, because I was just, my gut reaction was like, oh, that's dark. And then I was like, no, that's happened to me. So,
Yep.
all right, you know.
Yep.
2021, brutal, no prisoners. Oh.
Yeah, I'm done pulling punches.
All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for this bonus episode. We hope you've enjoyed it. As always, if you like our podcast and want to support us, you can do so at patreon.com/damninterestingweek. In the meantime, my name is Jennifer Lee Noonan.
I'm Angela Epley.
I'm Spurr-Chen.
I'm Bradley Calhoun.
And we hope you have a damn interesting week. Bye-bye.